Hey there everyone, welcome back to Near World, bringing the world nearer to you. This is the third video in our Tenerife series that we're going to be showing you, and as you can see, this is the view from our balcony. It's absolute paradise. We are in Puerto de la Cruz. Come with us now and explore this adventure with us.
I believe we are extremely lucky because as soon as you go out of our hotel, you can see that majestic view, El Teide. As you know, right now we are in Puerto de la Cruz, which is, in my opinion, and I believe, one of the most visited towns here on the island. Due to the fact that this town is really picturesque and the surrounding landscapes are absolutely out of this world, stunning and amazing. And obviously, because of the Teide and etc. But right now I would like to show you one of the most, I would say, interesting and one of the oldest constructions here in the town, which is Castle San Felipe, which was built in the 17th century, once again to protect the town from pirate attacks. So this is what we're going to see now. But before going to San Felipe Castle, I really wanted to show you the reason why so many people decide to come to this part of the island. Puerto de la Cruz has an incredible and rather stunning landscape surrounding the town. But it wasn't always this important. During the 17th century, it developed into the most important port of Tenerife. And later, in the late 19th century, the British elite began to visit, staying in the many of the older Spanish manors, which have been converted into luxurious hotels. However, nowadays, you don't need to be part of any elite. Anyone can come to Puerto de la Cruz and have the most wonderful time ever. Now let's go back to San Felipe Castle. Even though when many people think that Puerto de la Cruz is just like a normal resort town, that's not true at all. You can find plenty of historical sites throughout the town, like this one, San Felipe Castle, built in the 17th century to defend the city from pirate attacks. The castle is situated specifically beside Playa Jardín. That means that when you come for a nice dip in the sea, you can also learn about history.
Visitors to Puerto de la Cruz often come to Castle Beach, which is the best place to come to relax. However, what is really sad is that because the sea is so rough, you can't normally swim here, and also it's because it's extremely cold. This morning we came to the beach and we saw the red flag out, which means that you can't go swimming. But in any case, most people go to a nice hotel with a swimming pool so they can enjoy the water there. Do you know what, this is a big shame because there are so many people who come here believing that they can enjoy the sea and all stuff, but the waters are really freezing cold because this is the North Atlantic Ocean. And on top of that, the sea is just absolutely choppy. You can't really do anything here. You can't swim and enjoy it because you may end up drowning, and you don't want that. You want to go back home alive. Yeah, it's a big shame. I believe that people who go to Tenerife, they should more center on the fact that they are going to enjoy the nature, the beauty of the nature, but not the beach, because to be honest with you, it's not enjoyable at all. Apparently, there are other areas of the town where it is safe to go for a swim, but do not do it here at Playa del Castillo, it may be dangerous. Today's morning is so perfect and beautiful that it would feel almost a sin not to have a lovely drink by the beach. In my opinion, one of the most priceless things in this world is to have a nice cup of coffee by the beach. What else could you ask for in this life? So right now, Victor and I are going to the town centre of Puerto de la Cruz. There are lots of shops and restaurants where you can go sightseeing, pick up the atmosphere and really enjoy yourself. So don't just stay in your hotel, come and see the cultural sites that Puerto de la Cruz has to offer.
There is something that really attracts my attention here in the old town of Puerto de la Cruz, and that's how similar all these balconies are to those ones you would find in places like Lima, Peru, Cartagena de Indias in Colombia and also in Havana, Cuba. And that's because these styles were brought from the Canary Islands, because you have to remember that the Canary Islands became part of the Kingdom of Spain right at the same time when Spain colonized the American continent. Since we had a really big breakfast, we decided to go to pick something really small to have as lunch. So we went to one of the shops surrounding the main square here in Puerto de la Cruz.
Now we're in the heart of the town, which is Plaza del Charco. This is where everything goes on, and now we're going to sit down and have some snacks and enjoy the atmosphere. So because we're in the Canary Islands, we want to get our dose of potassium. So we've got fresh bananas, and we've also got spicy fried plantains, which is something that we absolutely adore.
But we also need some lubrication. In that case, I got some Guaraná Arctica drink, which comes from Brazil. I really love this drink. You should try it when you come here. And we actually got a Heineken beer. So we're gonna have a lovely time. Enjoy the lovely plaza.
One of the few beaches you can come to swim here in Puerto de la Cruz is Playa del Muelle. Here the water is extremely calm, there are no crashing waves, and people come and sit down here, go for a dip, enjoy the water, although I'm sure it's very cold. But yeah, we're not swimming today because we've got a bit of a cold ourselves, but otherwise we would definitely be in there.
If you come to the center of the town, you cannot forget to visit one of the most historical sites here, which is La Bateria de Santa Barbara, which was basically built by the Spaniards as a fort to protect the town from pirate attacks. And it is very interesting because the structure of this fort is very similar to many of those castles or forts that were built in the ex-Spanish colonies, such in places like Old Havana, San Juan de Puerto Rico, and also in St. Augustine, which is the oldest European settlement in the American continent built by the Spaniards.
Guys, can you believe that the sea is so choppy and so rough that even the crabs are like sort of coming out of the sea because they can't take it? They're going to be smashed, you know, against the rocks, and they'll be completely like made of pate.
We have to confess that the temptation was by far too big. Therefore, we decided to go for a nice swim. Everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves. Then we thought, why don't we enjoy ourselves too? Even though the water was really cold, it was still a lot better than what we thought. Therefore, it was a really pleasant experience. Oh, look at that, it seems that Rich is going to have some company, he's not going to be alone. Overall, our first day here in Puerto de la Cruz has been a real success. Good morning everyone, so today is our second day here in Puerto de la Cruz, and if you get tired of this town, because obviously once you see the center then you might want to see something different, then I would recommend that you go to La Orotava, which is a beautiful town not far away from here, and you can get past 345. This is the place we are going to be visiting today, and we're going to show you the town. As soon as we got to the town, we went straight away to the hairdressers because we really needed to cut our hair. We are going to go around the town because it's kind of late already. We came here like a midday, and to get our hair done it took like 2 hours, imagine. So we're gonna try to see as much as possible. So if you come here, I would recommend you to come in the morning because then you can see more. If you want to be flabbergasted by beautiful and wonderful architecture, you need to come to La Orotava, located in the north of the island of Tenerife. It is one of the oldest towns in the Canary Islands, and it was founded in the early 16th century, after the Spanish conquest of the islands. I personally was not expecting the town to be so interesting and wonderful. The town retains a rich heritage, which can be seen in its architecture, gardens, and customs. La Villa Orotava is the only town in the Canaries with an almost entirely intact historical centre, offering comforting walks by its streets. In the town, history meets visitors, especially the foreign visitors who have wandered its street for many centuries, leaving behind some of the most beautiful pages of travel literature.
I'm sure many of you are thinking that this town resembles like Peruvian towns, maybe Ecuadorian, but actually it's the other way round. As you know, the Spanish used these towns as blueprints for designing the towns in places such as Peru, Ecuador, Dominican Republic, and lots of others. And therefore, when you are here, you feel as though you're transported over to the Andes.
If you want to feel like in the biblical Gardens of Eden, you definitely must go to Victoria Gardens. This place is full of tropical flowers and beautiful exotic trees and plants that you are going to feel like if you were there, because it is literally like paradise. Victoria Gardens were designed by the French artist Adolphe Coquet. They were inaugurated in the 19th century, and 2 centuries later they have become a symbol of La Orotava, perfectly combining with the stately atmosphere that characterizes the town. The gardens have an aristocratic background, as they were created on the orders of the De Ponte family to bury the body of the Marquis of Quinta Roja, after the Catholic Church denied him a Christian funeral due to his links to Freemasonry. So right now Rich and I are going to the supermarket because we want to buy some fruits, and it is really hilarious because Mercadona, which is one of the most common supermarkets here in Spain, the Mercadona of this town is situated in the center and it is in a historical building. So this is the most beautiful Mercadona I've seen.
Right now we're in Plaza Patricio Garcia, right next to the cathedral. We came here to sit down and have a light Spanish meal. What you can try when you come to Spain is a dish called salmorejo, which is basically like a soup made of tomato and olive oil. It's absolutely delicious. You have to try it.
Right now we are by Conception Church, which is the main church in this town, and it's really interesting the fact that there are so many churches throughout Tenerife that are called Conception. That's a name that I really like. In any case, I really love the facade of this Christian temple because it's very similar to those ones you can find in Oaxaca or Puebla, Mexico. Conception Church was built in the 18th century in Baroque Catholic styles. And if you got very up there towards Victoria Gardens, you can see the beautiful dome, which is red, and it mostly dominates the skyline of this historical town. And if you don't get enough green in Victoria Gardens, you can go to another place, which is another highlight, which is a botanical garden called Hijuela del Botánico, which is literally situated right in the center, and here you can see once again very tropical trees and flowers and etc. It is really beautiful. This is most definitely a romantic garden, and it's got 4,000 square meters, created in 1788 on the initiative of the 6th Marquis of Villanueva del Prado, Alfonso de Nava y Grimón. His idea was to make it an auxiliary facility to La Orotava Acclimatization Gardens, now Puerto de la Cruz Botanical Gardens. There is a network of paths that give visitors the chance to enjoy more than 100 species planted there, including Indian chestnuts, the fire tree, the zapote, the Australian conifers, and the lovely specimen, the dragon tree. Right in the center of the botanical garden there are banana trees, and if you have never seen one before, so this is the best place to come. They are all over the island because of course here they are greatly planted because of the Canary bananas, which are extremely famous all over Spain, and we love our bananas. What I really like about Orotava is that they still preserve the cobblestones that were put here when they founded the city in the 1500s. There is only one thing that Richard and I hate about this town, and do you know what that is? There are so many cars in the historical center. It's like, listen, no offense, but this is supposed to be a relaxing, nice, cute, fairy tale style town. And then when you come here, you see all these like disgusting cars all over the place. It's like, really, they kind of break that fantasy. We're about to go inside Casa de los Balcones, which is Spanish for House of the Balconies. Imagine balconies, I love balconies. Anyway, so this is one of the most historical buildings in the town because it was built in the 1600s for a very wealthy family. In any case, but now it's functioning as a museum. Casa de los Balcones is one of the most celebrated houses and museums in Orotava. It was built in 1632 and it has many things to offer of Canary origin, which includes embroideries and artwork. Casa de los Balcones was built for a rich family, so once you enter the house, memories of the living and lifestyle will circulate in your imaginations. How they were dining, sleeping, and living and enjoying their wealth enthralled the visitors. The balcony of this house is worth admiring, twined in the Andalusian fashion. This is most definitely one of the places you must visit when you come to La Orotava. Good morning everyone. Right now we are off to Mount Teide. This is the highest point in Spain and the highest point above sea level in the islands of the Atlantic. I'm really excited to see this majestic volcano. Today we're supposed to see all the different microclimates of the islands. For example, in Tenerife is where you can see the majority of them. You can go from subtropical to mountainous and then to desert. We just got to one of the viewpoints from where you can see the majestic views of Teide, and from here you can also see the Atlantic Ocean. It's incredible because you can actually see other islands from here, so we are extremely high up. And we were given this because apparently you've got to do a lot here because we are 1,000 meters above sea level. It is almost impossible to believe that a few kilometers back we saw a few palm trees, and look at this. Now we are in this dense and massive forest, very similar to those ones you would find in Northern Europe. This is also quite similar to Kamchatka, the peninsula situated in the far east of Russia. Right now we are entering the national park, Mount Teide. This is literally the foot of the volcano. Over here you can see the massive change from back there that was completely green, but here it's absolutely volcanic. It makes me feel like in the third part of Resident Evil. Teide National Park is the biggest park on the Canary Islands. A trip that should be at the very top of the massive list of everyone who visits Tenerife. Mount Teide is the third tallest and largest volcano on the planet, after Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea in Hawaii. Its formation began 170,000 years ago, after a giant slide of the previous volcano, which was even larger than this current one. Given the number of tourists who come to Tenerife every year, it's not surprised that Mount Teide National Park is the most visited national park in Spain, and also in all of Europe. Millions of visitors come to this barren landscape every year for the incredible views.
You know what, guys, I have to say that it's unique being here, the landscapes and everything. Victor and I used to watch a film a lot called The Hills Have Eyes, and it reminds us of that film where there were lots of strange people hiding in the hills, you know, and it really brings you back. And funnily enough, at the moment, there are people that are filming here. There's a lot of film productions and people, and it's just an amazing atmosphere. Do you know what, guys, we just found out that there's a regular bus route from Puerto de la Cruz right here. We paid a lot of money for a private tour, and now we're feeling a little bit conned that we could have come here by public transport. But never mind, now you know, take the bus.
On the way to our next stop, we went via this amazing highway and we saw all these wonderful and rather spectacular and exotic landscapes. We were told by our tour guide that every 100 years there is an eruption, and they say that it could explode at any moment. I really hope that it doesn't happen right now. Do you know that the last eruption took place on the 18th of November of 1909? We just got to the place where we're going to be riding the camels, and we also are going to be having lunch here. Apparently this is some sort of like a steakhouse, and I'm really looking forward to doing both things, riding a camel and having a nice lunch. The name of this place is Camel Center. It is situated in the south of the island and you pay €20 for a 25-minute ride. So, do you like it?
Here we are, we're about to go on a camel.
Wait, you are on a camel?
Canarian camel. This is a real authentic Canarian camel.
So here we go, we are officially riding not just one camel, but there's so many camels together. So it's like all this caravan is just for us. Imagine how we feel like royalty right now.
I must say, I do recommend it. I thought it wasn't going to be very comfortable because we have like ridden camels before and it's been very uncomfortable. But when you sit on these types of chairs, you feel fine. So I'd recommend it, and you get to see the nature. There's lots of like goats and sheep and peacocks. You have to come here and try it. Especially
yeah, it's like a farm.
If you've got children as well, it's fun for them.
Yeah, it's really fun. I actually read on the internet that these camels were brought from North Africa. I'm kind of happy that they are here and they don't have to be bearing all this scorching heat in that part of the world. I believe that they are a lot better here than over there. What do you think? Do you know what they say about black cats?
I don't believe this.
We don't recommend that you have lunch here because we ordered beef and they gave us pork, and the flavor of the meat was rather nasty. Right now we are heading to our next and last stop of the day. I'm talking about the cute and beautiful town of Garachico. It was founded in 1496 by the German banker Cristobal de Ponte after the conquest of the islands. After having seen so many towns in Tenerife, what I have understood is the fact that here you can find so much variety of architectural styles all over the island. And believe me, I've seen more variety of beautiful and picturesque towns here on this island than in many countries in mainland Europe. Unfortunately, we have gone to the end of our third episode here in Tenerife. If you want to see more, stay tuned, because soon we are going to be visiting Loro Park, which is another of the main attractions of the island. If you liked the video, do not forget to subscribe and to give us a thumbs up. See you next time on a new adventure.